In life, we're constantly changing as people. We're changing our sense of style, our sense of humor, our sense of self-worth, trying to find our identity that makes us happy and feel comfortable with ourselves. We might stumble and fall during all of this, go down pathways and realize, hey, that's not me, let me try something else. And in this process, we might become something that is dreaded by the whole community. And that thing being cringe. No one wants to be cringe. No one wants to be laughed at. No one wants to be hurt. So that stops us from being the people we really want to be and, just lets us stay here and kind of okay, but we're not really growing as people. So we might not be happy. We might not feel comfortable with ourselves. And I want to talk about that, but with D&D. Surprise, surprise, I'm the Dreadful DM, or just Jordan, and today I want to talk about why being cringe in D&D is not something that's just going to happen. It's something you should embrace because that means you're trying new things, you're trying to become a better player, a better storyteller, a better DM. We're trying to become better individuals to play this game that's supposed to be a fun time and it's almost encouraged to be cringe. So if you want to hear me yap about that for the next 8-10 minutes, then feel free to tag along, like and subscribe, and let's get right into it. So, when you're first starting a game of D&D, it can be seen as a daunting task because you first have to make a character, you have to make the backstory, pick what class they're gonna be, pick all the proficiencies, what languages they know, put the skill points all in the right spot, make a character that's balanced, so you have to make sure they're good in combat, but also a social setting because you don't want to limit yourself, restrict yourself from half the game, so you have to do all of this, and it can be a very cumbersome task for a first time player. And then after this, you actually have to play the character, you have to role play them, you have to be someone separate from yourself in a whole new universe, and that can be a very scary thing. So you made a character. It could be a champion fighter, or it would be a little more edgy, a vengeance paladin. So you get this character ready, and then you get ready to actually play. You get ready to roleplay the character. But then you get a little bit scared because you're not used to it. Maybe you weren't a theater kid growing up, so you don't know how to act as a different person. You only know yourself. So it could be a very hard thing to be someone that you're not, act a way you wouldn't usually act. Maybe you might make someone who's a lot more charismatic, a lot more brutalish, maybe a lot more whatever. That's something that's not yourself, and you try to be that person. It can be a very scary thing, and so we might actually just resort to just being ourselves. We might just implant ourselves into the character, which is a completely fine and passable way of playing the game, but in a game of endless possibilities of who you could be, what you could do, you just tend to be yourself and make the same decisions that you would typically make. That's fine overall, but that's not where the fun in D&D is. Being different is scary because we've been told from a very young age not to stand out too much unless we want to be laughed at, not to draw attention to ourselves unless we want to be judged. We don't want to feel like we're the butt of jokes, so we limit ourselves, we stop ourselves from being the person we want to be or from trying new things, and we carry that fear into our hobbies. You have hobbies like D&D, book reading, knitting, working on cars, all these different hobbies that we might stop ourselves from doing more because we're scared of being cringe, we're scared of coming off as weird. But the good thing about D&D is that it's full of different types of people from different backgrounds, a bunch of different nerds that want to come together to be weird and cringe together, who want to form these beautiful stories that are meaningful that we can carry with ourselves for the rest of our lives. You have the theater kids, you have the math wizards, you have the min-maxers, and everyone in between, and of all different types of boundaries and different types of makeups and stuff. It's a place where you can do what you want and try new things that you want. It's good if you're comfortable with yourself and you want to implant that in a character. That's perfectly fine. But in a world where a sentient gelatinous cube can be a very meaningful character, where Fart Buckle can leave a lasting stain on the community, why not try something different? Why not be something you're typically not? Maybe be a little bit of a cheeky guy that's a little more of an asshole. That's something you won't be able to be in the real world because you don't want to be a mean guy. But in this weird fantasy world that you only do between your friends, be a little more sly, be a little more slick, be a little bit more of a asshole per se, Be something you're typically not, try something out. Maybe you realize, hey, this is pretty cool, and I'm having actually a good time because I'm not just being myself and not restricting myself to the same moral things I have. D&D, you're set in a magical, mythical, medieval realm, or you're up in the stars, traveling the galaxy. There's different things you could do, everything from the small to the minute to the large. You can be a whole new person and you don't have the same ramifications. It's similar to the whole aspect of we're dealing with low stakes, so it's easier to deal with things. You're in a completely make-believe world that has no consequences on us. So it's easy to deal with different issues, different stakes, and coming up with problem solving, but also trying new characters, different ideas, and if something doesn't work, well, I just stop it and nobody worries about it. That's what's fun about D&D. You're given this playground where you could try endless possibilities, so why limit yourself to just you when you can be anyone, when you can be something that you imagine yourself to be, or something that you won't ever want to be in a million years, but it would be fun to try in this make-believe world. That's where D&D is fun, where the weirdos, the creeps, I'm a creep, and the nerds can come together and be a homogenous fun time. Look at all the different D&D creators, everything from Dimension 20 to Critical Role to Dungeon and Daddies to guys like Zach the Bold, where everyone can have a voice in this community and try to say something, and people might laugh, people might not agree with the takes and such, but hey, D&D is a place where you can try new things and see what sticks and see what doesn't. And that's why I enjoy it so much, because even if I'm not the best storyteller, if I'm not the best orator, I can still have a fun time with my friends because we can come up with dumb jokes that we'll laugh about. And that's what's fun, because I'm not afraid to put myself out there to seem stupid, to seem cringe, because I wanted to give a good time with my friends and show them a good story. That's what's fun, because you're surrounded by people you like, people you know, people you can trust, and you can be cringe, you can be weird, because D&D allows that. You're not restricted by the same social norms as being in a conference room or being in a classroom. You're just with friends, you're with family members, or maybe just people you met online and you want to try to play a D&D story, but it comes with the understanding and knowing that this is going to be a bit funny because I'm this normal person, this businessman, but here I am a, elf lady who is very attractive, and please don't flirt with me. It's stuff like that, where there's a lot of fun that can be had if you simply let go of the idea of that cringe is bad. Being cringe is just a gateway to being free, and that's something we all should aim for. Yeah, howdy. Here's a kind of a shorter type of video. I'm currently in the works of a much longer one dealing with Warhammer and Eisenhorn, whole kind of book review-esque, sneak peek, a little bit of spoilers, haha. There's gonna be a lot more production value into that, so I kind of still want to post like weekly, so here's a little more shorter one, a little more streamlined, just more of my thoughts spit out. I try to write an actual genuine script for this one, a little bit on the shorter side because I want to try things out again for that Eisenhorn video ready, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. I hope you guys are not too worried about if you're looking cool, if you're trying to be the most aura farmer guy around. D&D is a good time. Enjoy it, let loose, try new fun ideas, and see what sticks and what doesn't. Remember, low stakes, so you can do whatever the hell you want. Just have fun, play the game. But yeah, I'm Dreadful DM. Please leave a like and subscribe, it helps out. And yeah, don't forget to go on a walk. It's good for yourself mentally, emotionally, and physically. And yeah, I will talk to y'all later.